Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning. You are Mr. What's your name? Ishan.
Yes, sir, Ishan.
What is the meaning of Ishan?
Sir, Ishan stands for the eternal form of Lord Shiva.
Ah, great. Yes. We have a famous cricketer now. At least a well-known cricketer, I must say. Not very famous, but still. What's his name?
Sir, Ishan Kishan. He's an
Very good.
opener.
Is he a batsman, bowler, wicket keeper? What is he?
Sir, he's a batsman. If a batsman, wicket-keeper batsman.
Yeah, wicket keeper batsman. I thought you had to say that because he has been keeping wicket. Maybe he'll have to continue because Pant is injured. You know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
that way, you have to know a bit about him. Very good. Again, you are also from 24 Parganas.
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
Because
Yes,
the
sir.
earlier candidate was also from there. So what is happening today? 24 Parganas days. Huh? Good. Tell me
Yes.
briefly about yourself, Ishan.
Sir, I belong to Kolkata. I've been brought up here. I went to school here in South Point High School. I then moved to Rajasthan for my graduation and post-graduation in chemistry from the Central University of Rajasthan.
Where is Rajasthan?
Sir, I was in near Kishangarh.
Kishan.
Yes,
Achha.
sir.
Which district is that?
Sir, it's under the Ajmer district.
Ajmer. Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
And then you did MSc also?
Yes, sir. I did my BSc and MSc from Central University.
Dual degree, is it?
Yes, sir. Integrated course.
Integrated course. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That was in year 2019.
Yes, sir. 2019, I completed my post-graduation.
Yeah. After that, have you been working anywhere?
No, sir. I have been preparing for civil services full time.
Civil services. Okay,
Yes,
fair enough. Okay, we'll come to chemistry in a minute. What's your optional for this civil service?
Sir, my optional is history.
History.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. Now, before that, let's talk a bit about chemistry.
Yes, sir.
Have any idea
Sure,
about
sir.
who got the Nobel Prize for chemistry this year?
Yes, sir. It was won by 3 people. So it was Barry K. Sharpless, Mortel Mendel, and Caroline Bertozzi for their work in click chemistry.
Wow, very good, very good. Has ever any Indian won a prize, Nobel Prize in chemistry? Any Indian?
So I remember that Dr. Venkatraman Ramakrishnan won it for biochemistry.
Yeah. He was
So,
which university in India?
so he was in a so he was based in America. He was working out of there only. He was in
India, Baroda. He was in the Baroda University.
okay, I said I did not know that.
Anyway,
Thank you,
what
sir.
is the subject for which he was given award?
So he was given for biochemistry, sir. His work in biochemistry.
What do you understand by biochemistry? Chemistry, one knows. What is biochemistry?
So our entire body is based on chemical processes like enzymes and genetics and all that. So biochemistry is basically the chemistry of the human body. Not just the human body, and specifically living bodies.
Very good. Now tell me, you must be knowing, I'm sure. What is the heavy water? How do you define a heavy water?
Yes, sir. So hydrogen has 3 isotopes. One is protium, deuterium, and tritium. So the water that is general water that we drink, it is made out of protium, H2O. The heavy water is made of deuterium. It's basically the deuterium oxide. So it's D2O. The isotope of hydrogen, which is in heavy water, is deuterium.
Now, is it a finished product or it's a byproduct of a process?
I'm sorry, sir, I did not.
No. This heavy water, do you get it as a byproduct or it is produced as such? Heavy water.
So heavy water is present in nature, but it's the composition is extremely low. So to get heavy water, we have to isolate that particular by a chemical process. I'm not exactly sure what the chemical process is.
It is always the byproduct. It is not a finished product by itself. See, nobody produces heavy water per se. It comes out of a certain processes. Okay. But where is it used? Heavy water is used where?
So heavy water is used in nuclear reactors. It's generally used to slow down the nuclear process and to stop the neutron flow from over exceeding its capabilities. So that explosion doesn't occur.
Good. Now your optional is history, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
now Tell me which part of history you like? The Indian, I mean the modern or British or what? Indian history.
Sir, yeah, sir, I like the modern history portion of Indian history.
Modern history.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the British ruled us for so many years.
Yes, sir.
Now, you take the period from, say, 1850 to 1947. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, how will you describe this period? Break it into three if you want.
Okay.
Huh.
So, I can divide it in the terms of three forms, three periods of nationalism, of growth of nationalism. First was the moderate phase till 1905. Then after 1905 till 1914 was the a gradual rise of extremism with the leaders like Lokmanya Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, and Lala Lajpat Rai. And then after 1919 and the arrival of Gandhiji, and so nationalism was came into its mass form. Mass participation began to increase, and this continued till independence in 1947.
Very good. But tell me, suppose you get into IAS, in what
Yes,
way the subject of history will help you in discharging your job more efficiently? In what way will it help?
Sir, because I'm a student of history, sir, I am aware of the cultures and of the culture of specific areas. I also know their historical background to an extent. And because of that, I'm also curious about, even if I don't know something, I'm curious, and I will be able to learn about them and learn about their history and their background. So that will help me to design policies and implement policies in a way that would be acceptable to the public. So India is a land of culture, and any policy that has to be implemented has to be based on the culture of the area and the country per se. So as a student of history, I think I am placed in a good position to understand and implement that.
See, that's a saying that history repeats itself.
Yes, sir.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir. I do agree with that.
Give me one example.
So one I can recall is during Napoleon's invasion of Russia. He invaded Russia in winters, and that was one of the reasons why he was unsuccessful in his Russian campaign. Decades later, Hitler made the same mistake when he invaded Russia. He invaded Russia again in the winter, and that was one of the reasons why he failed in his Russian invasion.
Okay, good. Now let's talk a well-known question of Battle of Panipat. How many battles were fought, between whom and when, and what happened?
Yes, so 3 battles were fought at Panipat. The first battle of Panipat was fought between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi, which led to the defeat of Ibrahim Lodi and the establishment of the Mughal dynasty.
And when?
So that was in 1526.
Okay.
So then second battle of Panipat was fought between Akbar, the forces of Akbar, and Himchandra Vikramaditya. That was fought in 1556. And the third battle of Panipat was fought between the Marathas and Ahmad Shah Abdali. That was fought in 1761.
What happened? Who won?
So the Marathas lost and Ahmad Shah Abdali was victorious. And that led to the demise of the Maratha aspirations for power in North India.
Very good. Now, what made you choose history as compared to chemistry?
So it was more of a strategic decision. So when I began preparing for civil services,
you are being honest. Okay, go on.
Yes, sir.
So you feel you have done the right thing?
Yes, sir. I actually, when I began preparing for civil services, I did not have proper guidance or mentorship or materials in chemistry. I did not know how to prepare for it. So that is why I chose history, because materials were available and guidance was also available. And sir, it would also cover a portion of the GS syllabus also in GS1. So it was a strategic decision, sir.
Very good. Now, what are your hobbies?
Sir, I like to play rapid chess, and I also like to play the guitar.
Oh, very good. Now, talking of rapid chess, we have some Indian young fellows, grandmasters. Can you name them?
Yes, sir. So there is R. Pragananda, who was in news recently.
How old
There's
is
also,
he? Any idea?
he hasn't turned 18 yet. I think he's 17.
Yeah. He's from which state?
He's from Tamil Nadu, sir.
Tamil Nadu. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ah.
So there is Gukesh D. He's also from Tamil Nadu, sir. Then there is Arjun Erigasi, Vidit Gujarati. There are several, sir. We have 77 grandmasters currently.
Well, why is it that the Indians do well in this when it is the individual games rather than when it is a team effort? You know, whether it is tennis or chess or, you know, all this badminton, the singles they do very well, doubles to some extent. But when it comes to hockey and all our football, we are nowhere. Why? Something wrong. As a team, we can't work.
So I wouldn't say that as a team we can't work. It is true that we have not been able to win certain events in team-based events, but sir, the Indian cricket team is doing very well as a cricket as a team. Badminton.
I thought women cricket they are doing better than men. Am I right? Under 19 they won the world championship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They did. Yes, sir. So the Indian cricket, the men's cricket team has been not been able to win tournaments, I would say, but bilateral series they are they're doing pretty well. They recently won against Sri Lanka and then New Zealand also. So
what needs to be done to improve our football standard? We are not qualifying for FIFA at all.
Yes, sir.
What needs to be done?
So first of all, I think that there should be stability at the administration and at the top. So recently, FIFA had suspended the AIF Football Federation of India because of irregularities in administration at the top. So that has to be a factor. Secondly, sir, there should be a system of identifying talent at the grassroots level. Without that, we cannot identify talents and we cannot groom them to become players of the future. So thirdly, I think that higher institutions like the IITs and the IIMs need to look at sports as a criteria for admission. Because if we look at the Western countries, basketball or say other sports are an avenue for the children to enter into Ivy League colleges. So if that happens, then the parents will start looking at sports as a career opportunity and not just a pastime. So I can think of these three elements.
Oh, very good. That's a good answer. Now, what are your service preferences?
So my first preference is the IPS, then on the IAS and the IFS.
You said IPS?
Yes, IPS.
Okay. And then?
So then it's IAS and IFS.
Now tell me, okay, hold on. But tell me why IPS number one?
So my grandfather was an IPS officer. And
IPS officer. Which cadre?
Yes, sir. So he was from the 1950 cadre.
No, which cadre?
So Bengal cadre, sir.
Oh, Bengal. What was his name? Yes. Is he still alive? What is his name?
No, sir. His name was Shudhanshu Kumar Sinha, SK Sinha.
Okay, SK Sinha. Nice. So it's because of that, you got motivated. That's
yes, sir.
And I'm sure you will make it. What is your height and weight?
So my weight is 66 kgs. My height is 5'6".
5 feet?
5'6", sir.
5'6" only?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, that's not very important. That I think you just qualified. And physically you are fit, right?
Yes, sir. I used to do powerlifting when I was in university, sir.
Oh, very good. Okay. Are you aware of any report regarding police reform?
Sir, I'm aware of the Prakash Singh judgment, sir. I'm not aware of any particular Prakash Singh judgment.
Yeah, tell me something about that.
Yes, sir. So it was part. Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it was passed in 2006. It was aimed at implementing certain police reforms to ensure that there is proper administration in the police. So some elements of which the judgment included, that was there should be a 2-year tenure for the DGPs, the IGPs, and the SPs at the district level. Law and order and security apparatus of the police needs to be separated according to the judgment. For appointing higher officials, the Supreme Court suggested a police establishment board, which would be made of administrators as well as higher police officials. So there would also be a proper organization for making complaints, and which would look into complaints against police officials also. So these are the elements that I can recall.
Very good. Talking of complaints, we have this term called encounter.
Yes, sir.
What is this encounter? Don't you think it should be banned? Or you think there is some justification for encounters?
Sir, no, there is no justification for encounters, sir. Encounters are specifically incidents where the police take the law into their own hands. So the police are not the justice givers. They are the areas, they are the avenues or institutions that has to ensure law and order. They have to make an investigation, and they have to put the facts of the case in front of the courts. The courts have the right to decide on the rights and if the person is guilty or not. So no, so I do not think that encounters can be justified in any democratic institution like India.
Very good. I like your answer. I think that's the spirit and the right approach. Just because you have law in your hand, you can't take it.
Yes, sir.
Actually, one should not kill a person. It may be anything, but still, you have no right to kill. Let the law decide. We have a machinery, a procedure, and a system, and you can't act like a judge. Anyway, that's about. But you know what? Unless they specifically ask you about your view, don't give your view.
Okay.
Suppose I pin you down and say, no, what is your personal view about encounters? Then you can say, sir, in my humble opinion, preface it properly, saying that in my humble opinion, and reading some encounters from the newspaper, I personally feel at this stage that they are really not justified. Try to be slowly speak and be very careful in choice of words. You follow?
Okay, sir.
A diplomatic way saying neither yes nor no. So to say that in my limited knowledge and understanding at this stage, I think encounters need not be there. This is my humble opinion. Like that, you have to say, but don't say it is wrong and all as if you know everything. You follow?
Okay, sir.
Because that will border arrogance.
Okay.
Because really, personality test means the way you reply and how you reply, rather than what you reply. What you reply doesn't matter really, but how you reply, how gracefully, how modestly you reply, that is more important. Because there should not be any degree of arrogance. Because your grandfather was a very senior IPS officer, that does not mean you should be arrogant in your reply. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
sir.
that grace has to be there. That is how a personality is judged.
Okay, sir.
So it is more important how you say a thing rather than what you say a thing. What you say. Huh?
Okay.
When is your interview?
So my dates haven't been announced yet, sir.
Not yet. So that way you have a lot of time.
Yes, sir.
Is this your first mock, or you have had some mock earlier also?
No, sir. I have had two panel mocks, sir, before this.
Where? In Delhi?
No, sir. I'm in West Bengal only. So the public services have West Bengal government has organized a few panels.
Very good. Very well. Because your dates have not been announced, what I would suggest is you read more. Have mock at the interval of 10 or 12 days. Because the current affairs become very important.
Yes, sir.
For that you need mock. So much is. Now, for example, if you have to appear in the next 10 days, I'll ask you more questions on economic survey and budget.
Okay, sir.
You follow. So at this stage, I won't ask you very many questions, because by the time you get your date, it may be end March or April. By then, economic survey and budget probably will not be all that topical. So you take mock at the interval of 10 days, so that any VIP coming or our PM going anywhere, some major announcement, happenings in parliament, those things will be important. So take mock at the interval of 10-12 days. But more importantly, read your subject. And also your own subject, chemistry, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Little more, some basics of chemistry you should know. I asked very elementary questions, but there can be more questions, especially from the point of pollution and all that. And maybe things like what is green hydrogen,
Yes,
how desirable it is for India, and what is the provision in the budget for green hydrogen. See, we are trying to go green, you know. So that way, yeah. And then things like climate change, G20, all these things are very important. So now, what paper are you reading? Newspaper?
So I'm reading two, Indian Express and the Mint.
Huh?
So I'm reading Indian Express and the Mint also.
Acha, Indian Express and
Mint.
Mint. Very
Mint.
good. Yeah, I was about to suggest you must read one economic daily. Business and personally, I prefer Mint. Mint is pretty good. You get it in Calcutta?
So now I read it online, sir. It's available online.
Yeah, nowadays you get everything on online.
Yes, sir.
But the only thing, you know, online thing is whether it is budget or things like that. If some facts and figures are given, you should read it twice and then write it down. Then only it will register in your mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Simply reading like a novel will not help.
So I write, I make notes
also. Whether economic survey or budget, where facts and figures are important, read twice and write it down. The moment you write it down, it will register in your mind. You follow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the total direct tax collection, indirect tax collection, GST collection? What are the income tax slabs announced? All this reading is fine. But if you read and write it down, it will register. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, so the data is not, so read all this and you should know also things happening in Calcutta, keep track of that. Now, recently, Amartya Sen's land thing was issued.
Yes, sir.
The CM had to intervene. I think now it has been sorted out. So, things like that, things which attract attention of general public, know about happenings in Calcutta. And some basic statistics of West Bengal, like literacy rate, sex ratio, law and order, because you are in front of IPS number 1, they can definitely ask, how do you rate the law and order in Calcutta? Or rather West Bengal.
Okay.
And there have been some instances, you know, that happens everywhere, but in West Bengal also. So what more needs to be done? What can be done? Suppose you are posted as a SP of whatever, Bali, Ganja, wherever. So what will you do? What more needs to be done?
Okay, sir.
Think about it. And in all this, just say, in my humble opinion, don't forget that. You know, while answering, because you are a man, obviously, unless you are in the field and take decision, you cannot know. So these are hypothetical questions, but based on newspaper and what are you seeing happening in Punjab or Delhi, the thing you can contemplate about Calcutta and reply. You follow? And more than anything else, now this traffic is a real menace. How to control traffic? Because the traffic is increasing everywhere. And especially if you have festivals like Kali Puja or Saraswati Puja or whatever.
Yes, sir.
And then the VIP movements, you know, so the traffic control is something very important. So things like that, think about it. And then something about the college life also, the ragging and all that. Every now and then we hear some students committing suicide or getting killed or whatever. So what do you think, what can be done to minimize or prevent this ragging business? You know, what needs to be done? So things like that, something related to your age and your generation, and at the same time happening in and around the world. Yes. So read the current topics will be very important. Especially the IMF, every now and then they come and go. The credit rating agency, all that. And then the RBI monetary policy. Of course, I didn't ask much on that, but you should know. And the economic survey, read the first chapter of economic survey. The economic survey first chapter gives you the bird's eye view of the economy. All sectors, fiscal, monetary, balance of payment, you know, budget, all those, health, education. In a nutshell, you should know what has been the performance last year. And something about the new education policy. Because the new education policy is under implementation. So you should know what are the Okay, very good. Do you have anything to ask?
Sir, apart, sir, just wanted to ask, like, optional, sir, was my knowledge base
no, optional is all right. Your optional is all right, but my only point is read a bit about the Indian history part of it.
Okay, sir.
Because in particular, you were fairly well informed. But these are pet questions, Battle of Panipat and Haldighat and all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So read that, but don't worry too much about it. The world history, not much. Do you have a world history also as a part of the syllabus?
Yes, sir. It's in the syllabus, sir.
So not much. So do that. Don't worry about that. You are optional. And you passed out from which college?
So Central University of Rajasthan.
Oh, you see. But why did you go to Rajasthan? I was about to ask you, forgot. All the way.
So,
why you didn't get admission in Calcutta?
So no, actually, it was an integrated course, sir. So that is why I chose Rajasthan. So I didn't have to look for
it. You mean to say in West Bengal you don't have integrated course?
Yes, sir, but I didn't apply for any course for that. I had applied in Rajasthan, but by the time my admission was happened there,
is this your first attempt or how many attempts have you made?
So third attempt, sir.
Oh, an interview first time?
Yes, sir, interview first time.
Very good. I'm sure you will make it. Although your hair needs to be combed properly.
Yes, sir. Actually, yes, sir.
It looks as if you have played football and come.
No, sir. Make sure.
Or maybe 10 days before the interview, you're going for a haircut. 10 days
Yes,
before
sir.
the interview, not today.
Okay, sir.
Because somehow it looks a bit untidy and need to be cleaned, so to say. And
sorry, sir, for that.
Suit or a tie only?
Sir, suit, sir. I'll wear a suit. Yes, sir.
You have a suit, wear it.
So I'll buy one. I have one, but I'll have to buy another one.
No, if you can afford, buy others, don't bother. But you should wear a tie at least.
Yes, I'll wear a tie, sir.
If you have a suit, get it dry cleaned and then manage. No harm if you pay for a new one. So all the best, Ishan.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But this fellow, Ishan Kishan, is not doing well as a batsman. He is scoring less than 10 each innings. Am I right?
So he did score a double-handed, sir, but then after that,
only once you keep on quoting. That is history. You are a history student, so you keep on saying that.
So he has potential, sir. But I think he needs to train more, a little more, and things change for Shubman Gill, so it may change for him also.
Yeah. Now look at Gill, century after century. My God.
Yes, sir.
That is all right.
Century in all three.
Yeah. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.